sitting cross-legged might not be your bag. And if it's not your bag, it's not going to be a conducive position to sitting for a long period of time. So another alternative of many is to sit more in a kneeling position. In fact, many people find this much easier to sit for longer periods of time because it tends to be more supportive on the low back. It's a very modified version of Vajrasana. I'm sitting up on 2 bricks. 2, because then there's very little chance of me putting too much pressure on the tops of my feet or on my knees. I'm sitting on my sit bones. Okay, so my sit bones are right on the brick. Now, I like to have the bricks wide. Some people like to have the bricks narrow. That always just feels like a bad bicycle seat to me. Okay, the cues are the same. As I come into this, I like to roll the pelvis too far forward and then roll it back. Just do that a couple times. Okay, again, not only are you sort of letting the body know, like, okay, you're allowed to find these movements, but you're stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system. You're stimulating the release of the endorphins and the serotonin. So why not? Okay? And then generally, I find it easier to start in the exaggerated position of the pelvis rolling forward and the heart blooming. Shoulders rolling back and down. That helps me find the spot as my ears draw back. Now, this is obviously too much exuberance in the front of the body. And the back of my body is not only compressing, but it's quite tense. I've done the exaggeration to help find the lift of the heart, but then my job is to balance that by letting a happen. As I let that tailbone relax, and as the tailbone draws down, this whole back of the body softens. My ears draw up and back. You might rest your hand on your thighs. If you work with shorter arms, it can be difficult to find a nice spot for the hands. Sometimes letting them cup in the lap can feel nice. Okay. Tune a little bit more deliberately to the root of the Ajna chakra, right where that C1 plugs into the skull. Okay, where that C1 plugs into the skull, let that lengthen. Okay, soften the jaw hinge, even let the jaw hang open a little bit. And you'll know it's working when the circumference of your mouth starts to feel more sensual. And just like in the cross-legged position, eventually the belly relaxes. And you'll know you've found that place of less effort. When you can ditch the engineering cues. So experiment. Find out what works for you. Take the time So find the position that helps you flow. It'll make it easier for meditation to find you.